Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the third installment of the Talking Point series. In this webinar, we are joined by Trustpilot and HiSmile, and we will discover how to better understand the shift in consumer shopping behavior and provide top tips to help your customers buy with confidence during this holiday season. I'm Ali Thiem, the editor of Power Retail, and it's lovely to have everyone here today. And as always, we have a fantastic lineup of panelists here. But before I get into it, I do have a quick bit of housekeeping to get through. If you have any questions for our panelists today, be sure to pop them into the questions tab on the right-hand side of your screen, and we'll do our best to answer them at the end of the session. So today we are joined by Sian Hassi, Manager Customer Success at Trustpilot, Jenny Curtis, the Customer Insights and Operations at HiSmile, and our very own Dave Fear, the Head of Analytics at Power Retail. Lovely to have you all here today. So I can't believe it myself, but we're already at the end of October. It's just insane. And as one of the strangest and most unpredictable years of our lives, it's safe to say that a lot has changed, especially when it comes to retail. Now we're approaching the holiday season at a rapid pace, and it's time for retailers to prepare for it. So the shift to online may have been unprecedented, but it has dramatically transformed how customers understand and respond with retail. In today's webinar, our guest speakers will examine how to take advantage of changing customer purchase patterns and how to pivot your strategy for maximum holiday success. So without further ado, let's jump right in. All right, Sian, there we go.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ali. We're really excited to be here and for this opportunity. I guess working at Trustpilot, we work directly with a lot of businesses and brands, all about collecting reviews for your experiences and your products that you're giving to your customers. This, of course, allows you guys to listen to these reviews, to showcase these reviews, and use them to learn and to talk to your future potential customers. With me today, very excited, very lucky to have Jenny with us from HiSmile. And I'm going to be sitting here, I'm going to power through a bunch of questions that I'm dying to hear the answers to, and I'm sure a lot of people here are wanting to listen to as well. So when it is, I was having a look at your data, right? So HiSmile and Trustpilot have obviously been in partnership for well over a year or so now, nearly 2 years, I think. And last year, this period from the October to December period was gigantic in terms of how many reviews you guys collected. We also saw that you got 2.9 impressions of your million impressions of your reviews on your website, your particular Trustpilot reviews. That's a humongous number of eyes looking at your product. So I want to start to delve into what this has all done for you guys. So obviously we're about to come into, well, we are in that October to December period again. What have you guys done to prepare for this particular holiday rush?
We have used a lot of the Trustpilot insights that we have been able to access through all the analytics to kind of learn a lot of things about our customers that we're going to benefit from improving this year, or just being able to have a really good understanding of things that they're going to be looking at that have changed in the last year. So a lot of the insights that we've taken away are like pain points that, you know, we should have improved. So we've been working on those and creating more self-service options for our customers, working on optimizing a lot of those delivery and anything that sort of pops up that could be a negative sentiment from our customers. We've sort of like really focused on, I guess, the negative sentiment insights from the reviews and how we could improve that and really make it a better experience this year during our sale period and make it kind of more seamless, and anything that could have arisen out of our last year's reviews, we've been able to kind of analyze and put together and really work with the team this year to make something that's more seamless, that's not going to have that kind of impact this year.
Okay, and what, I guess, still working on the word impact, what sort of impact did you guys find from using your reviews in marketing last year? Are you going to use them for this year? Are you taking a different tactic? What's your secret? What you got planned?
Yeah. Well, we're always displaying them on our product pages, and we've sort of really been reworking a lot of our website to kind of put a big emphasis on those genuine reviews from customers. The time of year of sale coming into this period is when we're going to be attracting a lot of first-time customers. So it's really important that, you know, when they're on our website, they're going to be able to find genuine buying experiences and read about those from other customers and kind of build that confidence themselves in the product and what they're going to be buying into. we've also opted this year, rather than last year, we've put in a landing page for our reviews in the top banner of the website, so that, you know, as soon as they hit the very front page, that prime real estate is already sort of linking back to the reviews and the genuine experiences that customers have shared there. When we added in on our product pages to have all the reviews listed there, we noticed like a huge uptick in like conversion and a lot more customers sharing their own genuine experiences, because they could see that that was the place to do that. And I think that really helped us grow those numbers last year, and we're hoping for the same this year, because it's a great place for people to read more about what other customers have been doing. Obviously, there is a space where they'll potentially be sharing like any sort of negative feedback, but it's a really good point for us to learn about all the things that we need to continue to improve on as well. So we're sort of open to getting as much feedback as possible. So seeing those numbers be so high over that period, that's when our sales are the highest and the best time for us to gain as much, you know, customer feedback as we possibly can.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good thing that you've tapped into there, having that dedicated reviews landing page, because we know that consumers are basically going straight to doing a brand review search. And by that, I mean like brand name, like Cian's company and the word reviews. So the more you get ranking in there to emphasize that third party. I mean, your profile last year got just shy of 2 million impressions in Google search results in that 12-month period. Sorry, 2.2 million. This year to date, we're already sitting at 1.7 million. So I'd say that looking at that historical balance plus the changes that you're making, consumers are still searching for HiSmile reviews, but now your own pages start to rank alongside that, which of course emphasizes the work that you guys have been doing.
This year, we're also looking to sort of like try and add more of our reviews into our Facebook marketing and our social media. It's not an area that we were using them as much last year, and that's something that is a huge push for us this year. So Facebook marketing makes up such a large percentage of our ad budget. It's about around 90%. So this channel is probably the most effective of converting customers, and, you know, putting those reviews out there and those genuine buying experiences into our ads is going to obviously attract a more, you know, like more confidence in buying into the product in that sense, rather than just sticking to email or our website like marketing of the reviews. So we're going to really see hopefully a huge increase with having those in a lot of our Facebook ads this year as well.
And I think you should, because we know that social proofing, although it's not a brand new concept or anything, it is still absolutely key. And there's nothing more personal than hearing about someone else's experience who's looking for the same product or the same results that you are. We know that that, of course, like helps convert and helps build and boost that confidence. So yay, that's very exciting.
Yeah, and I think mixed in between all the customer, like your reviews mixed in between like all your personal family and friend recommendations, it's sort of like a really good spot to sort of feel that genuine experience in. It's, you know, it's I guess like a word of mouth, you know, through Facebook, where you're already having such personal touches with all your family and friends, and then so it's a really great place for us to sort of like slot in there as well.
Yeah, exactly. Especially as like, well, we're not here in Victoria, we're not really hanging out with our friends and family maybe as much as we were last year. Sorry to everyone here who's from Melbourne. Probably should have brought up that sore topic. My apologies. And you were mentioning before there about some of the key insights and the trends that you guys found from last year that you're working on. With any of the things you've just spoken through to us, like introducing that reviews landing page, that marketing, is there anything else in there that you took from the reviews? And I mean, a review is an open-ended question, isn't it? How was your experience? You can learn so much. So what are some of the things that you've learned that helped make these changes for 2020?
We've really tried to focus on a lot of the pain points, and I guess we used a new review insights tool that Trustpilot has recently launched to kind of focus on what a lot of the customers were saying last year, and social listening is reading through a lot of those things is kind of really focused on delivery experience and product experience this year. So we tried to use as much of that feedback as possible to work on a few tools on our website for our customers. So we've built out shipping calculators and tracking tools and things that are going to help them self-serve a little bit more, as we read a lot into a lot of those instances last year being quite negative or the timing wasn't great. So we took a lot of that away and tried to improve that experience, and really reviewed what that looked like for our customers in 2019. And it's a little different now in 2020, no matter what, because of COVID-19. The delivery experience has changed completely. So we're really trying to focus on that and really just reviewing all the reviews for the last year and seeing what things we can improve. A lot of the insights we gained, we've tried to, really fix as many things as we can. Obviously, it's a never-ending thing. There's always going to be something to continue to work on. But this year, we also built out a custom integration with our CRM platform so that our reviews will filter straight into our customer conversations, and we have a Shopify integration as well, so that we can have a 360 view of our customers. When leaving a review, we already know who they are and their order history and everything with us, so that we can sort of like be more proactive in replying a lot more this year, getting back to customers as quickly as possible. Like, we know that the longer the reply time, either to the review or just to the customer in general, can just continue to breed a lot of negative sentiment and a lot of negative reviews on negative comments on our ads and things like that. So we're really trying to improve this year on speed of our customer service and getting back to people as quickly as possible. And having that integration, that 360 view of the customer, is really going to help with that this year, I think, and really speed things up for us in making them our #1 priority.
Yeah, awesome. And when you were going through that, did you find any sentimental insights that you didn't suspect was out there? I mean, to an extent, delivery is always that middleman piece, right, between customer and end product. Was there anything that sort of popped out and surprised you guys?
The thing that surprised us the most was we received a lot of feedback around our delivery packaging. So people start buying for Christmas fairly early, and the packaging had our branding written all over it, and we were ruining some of the gifting experiences for people, unfortunately. So we've looked to, that was really surprising. We really didn't expect a lot of people to comment on the delivery packaging, and then the packaging of the product inside is great, but on the outside we were sort of ruining some of the gifting experiences in the lead up to Christmas. So this year we're changed that to a plain packaging, and that was something that our product team would never have probably been able to know otherwise if it wasn't for getting that feedback in the reviews, as we just honestly wouldn't have had any idea. So that's been a really surprising one.
That is actually quite surprising, but pretty critical, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And so you guys have obviously gone through a bit of a journey. I mean, even from the big things like the delivery and the product itself and your customer teams down to packaging, what's some advice that you would give to other retailers out there, especially those gearing up perhaps for their first peak season? I mean, there's a lot of new businesses popping up, people moving from brick and mortar to online, or like conglomerating like Click for Vic and things like that. What's some of the things there that you, bit of advice, bit of show off time, what would you say, Jenny?
I've done a couple of sale periods now here at HiSmile, and I've learned so much from each one, basing a lot of it off the previous year. So really probably one of the best pieces of advice is to always consider the past experiences when preparing for the busiest time of year. So we try to record as much information as possible on everything that did go wrong or that went right the year before, and try to review that before coming up with the promotional campaign that we're going to be launching with this year, and really considering what all of the elements of the customer experience are going to look like based on things that went right or wrong last year and things that we could foresee going right or wrong this year. Where I'm very lucky that I've grown with HiSmile for so long that I've always had touch base with the customer experience, and being able to be really close to the customer service team and really close to the marketing teams has kind of allowed me to constantly get the customer voice in there. I think it's really important to really touch base with the customer service team and ensure that that customer experience is going to be as seamless as possible, and that there's as much information out there as you can have. I think personally, my best tip every year is to always review your FAQ and make it clear and clean as much as possible, because customers are going to be looking at that this year. Particularly, I think they're going to want a lot more confidence in shipping information, information about international parcels traveling, if that's something that affects anyone, or just what it's going to look like and where can they find help if they need it, because I think they're going to be a little bit more on edge this year in terms of wanting that information than any other time before. So that's a big one.
That is a big one, and it's a pretty important one, actually, I think. about that. I know I go straight to the FAQs as well. I want answers. I don't want to have to go digging for them.
Exactly.
And you're right. You mentioned it there, like especially this year, like people are looking for more information. So, what other trends are you guys seeing, or are you seeing that are completely different to this time last year, or the peak shopping period last year to this year, and where do you think we're going?
We're already starting to see conversations around Christmas, which is a little bit early for us. Like it's normally we've got a little bit more time, particularly in our major markets. So, within Australia, we're already seeing a lot of conversations, people buying online already, getting ready for Christmas. I know a lot of people like to be prepared, but we're seeing such an uptick in that already. And with that information, like we're starting to realize we need to start communicating things a lot sooner in terms of cutoffs for shipping timeframes and what Christmas is going to look like closer to this date. And we've completely shifted our campaigns this year. Previous years, we've been able to sort of really push right to the edge with a brand like Australia Post in making sure that we can deliver right up until Christmas Eve. But there's some challenges around doing that this year and what that's going to look like in each of the countries we're delivering in. So I think there's a really big change in what Christmas looks like for a lot of people, and particularly like people that are based in Melbourne at the moment. Retail brick and mortar stores are not open right now, so we're seeing quite a large increase of online orders to Victoria or Melbourne in general, because people are getting more prepared, I think, than they have been before. And also a lot of people are starting to use buy now, pay later. It's always been an increase for us, but it has definitely not entirely sure on the exact percentage, but it has gone up quite a lot in the last couple of months with Zip Pay and Afterpay. We've seen a huge increase of people using those payment methods as well.
Yeah, I think that's pretty true. I know I've started Christmas shopping already. Can't wait, but you're right. Like everyone here, you have to, Ellie. Everyone here is a consumer as much as we are, working in or with businesses, and we can see all of these trends coming through as well. I mean, at Trustpilot, we spend all day, every day looking at reviews and working with businesses just like you guys. Can I get you pop to the next slide, please?
Of course, there you go.
Thank you. And one of the things that we know without a doubt is that public customer feedback, especially third-party reviews, does give you more opportunities to show off like what your shoppers are loving about the customer experiences, the products, personalization in terms of those responses like you were talking about. And ultimately that helps build more trust in each of your brand relationships with your current customers and any potential customers as well. We know that feedback can also highlight those areas of improvements, very much to what you were just saying there, Jenny. Like listening is key. There's no point just collecting this reviews for the sake of collecting it, data for the sake of it. You want to do something. And, consumers also love to hear how brands have handled this. Like I see this on your profile, I see it on so many others. You come back and you update when the problem's resolved. I know there's a lot of consumers out there that do directly go looking for reviews, just like that. What's the worst case? How did the business handle it? That is going to influence their decision. And there is a lot of online shopping options now. I mean, very exciting, very overwhelming, but it must get hard from a business perspective, right? To be able to differentiate between yourself and a competitor or a similar product and win customers. And one thing that we're seeing that is working at Trustpilot is basically cultivating that trustworthy presence for your brand online, because that's where everyone is. But there are still those offline opportunities that people can go to. So we've got this chart up at the moment, and it's from 2018 to this year, and we know consumers are looking for reviews because we can see this is visits to our profile pages across categories, and we can see consistently from 2018 through to now that there is a peak in the number of visits that we're getting to those profile pages from October to December. It's another place for your brand voice to come out with reviews. Consumers and shoppers, we all want to support local. We want to support businesses who live by their values and they've spoken up and they've done right by consumers, because guys, times have been tough, but we've had online shopping and the delivery of parcels to help get us through that. So let's keep listening and learning from that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to throw it over to Jenny, if you wanted to discuss some of the findings and some of the tips that you have as well from HiSmile.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned it a little earlier in that we have used our product pages as a great place to show off our organic customer reviews. And we've found that there's just a lot of traffic around people reading these reviews and going into a lot of detail. We, on each page, it's not just like sort of like the underneath the product heading. We do have the full listing of reviews down below. And we found that building up and displaying all those Trustpilot reviews on the product pages has just led to more genuine buying experiences, and having the landing page as well has really added to that. The landing page brings in all our reviews for all products, so I think it's a really great place for customers to go and read through all this information and really, but build more confidence in the product that they're buying into. I think like based on the graph that had just shown, there's obviously been a uptick in over time of people recently looking into a lot more reviews before they make their purchase. And I think it's a lot to do with, being really more mindful with their money and wanting to make a really conscious decision with their product. When they're spending their money on a product, they want to make sure that they're making the right choice and not going to be indecisive about it. So displaying the reviews on the product pages will really build that confidence. We obviously saw, I think I mentioned it before, we did see a lift in conversion when we added these to our product pages. And so we've recently changed some of our product pages to really emphasize the reviews sections. And it's now a permanent feature on our website. We're never really going to make any changes to this because we have been able to get more customers to leave reviews by leaving these on our web pages as well. And this sale period, we're really looking to use the trust score and the reviews just across all the social channels and our Facebook ads and marketing to really kind of continue to build that as much as possible. And I think like another part that we've really tried to focus on this year is the timing of our emails requesting these reviews. So we separate both our service product reviews and really trying to make our product reviews at the right timing of when people have used the product, it's been delivered, and really trying to hit that mark so that when they're leaving a review about their experience with the product, that it's going to be really genuine and they're going to just want to contribute that. And it's one of the hardest things to get people to share their experience on a third-party site about the brand. So we're really trying to hit that timing right so we can get as much out there as possible and then be able to continue to reshare that. I think in the next slide as well, it shows a lot about, similar to what Cyan showed before, that in the last couple of years, we've seen such a large increase of people really looking into reviews a lot more and just wanting to read a lot more genuine experiences. It's harder now, particularly at the moment, to have that word of mouth conversation with someone about a product or about a service and whether or not to buy into that. So it's really important that your online reviews or your online word of mouth, I guess, is really beefed up as much as possible. So we try to get as many reviews as possible to be able to just build that confidence back into each of the products and get the customers to, potential customers to buy into it, because it just is replacing that word of mouth that they would normally have conversation over a cup of coffee. We're kind of trying to do it online. And obviously a lot of that comes from Facebook ad comments as well. Really, that's such a huge part for us in gaining new customers. So those conversations within those ad comments are really important to us as well. And we try to really build a community within those comments and constantly replying to as many customers as possible and as quickly as possible, so they know that we're always there and always looking to have a conversation and provide them with as much information as possible. I'm not too sure what else I can kind of cover. I'm sure that might be some questions at the end, which would be a really great opportunity for me to cover anything that I might have missed.
Brilliant. Well, that was absolutely really interesting, and I just wanted to keep listening to it. But now we're going to move on to Dave. So Dave, could you please take us through some of the key insights about the holiday season from the latest trajectory report?
Yeah, I can do, because I think things have changed a little bit this year, and I think that's going to make it even more important than ever to do exactly what you're doing, and that's have good reviews, build trust in people. So this is from a survey we did just over a week ago, so it's very fresh. But the first question was, how has your shopping changed this year? And it's not surprising, given what's happened, that 68% of people saying that they've increased their online spending. That actually was a little surprising for me. That's a really high proportion of people to say that they're buying more online. It makes sense, but when you see sort of an overwhelming majority of people saying they're either spending more or the same online this year, that's, you know, that's the unprecedented seismic shift that we're all seeing. So on to the next one. It's changing the way people feel about shopping online. So I think we're seeing a lot more people who have shopped online grudgingly before because they had to, but now they're feeling more comfortable shopping online. You know, almost no one is saying that they're feeling worse about shopping online. So that's 88% of people saying that they already were comfortable or they're more comfortable this year shopping online. So again, just a real shift in attitude there. And to the point now where the vast majority of people are saying that all things being equal, they would actually prefer to buy something online. And, you know, 38% saying in store, 39% saying just regardless of COVID, they would still prefer to buy it online. And then there's just that extra balance there, the 23% who are saying they'd prefer to buy online because of COVID related reasons. Now, I think what's going to be really interesting to watch is how that unfolds going forward. Can, you know, especially pure play retailers keep that audience, keep them enjoying buying online, even when people can go back in store? I think that's what's going to be sort of really paramount going forward. Now, just to get a better understanding of the audience here, we asked people how they were buying online this year compared to last year. And so we saw 65% of the people surveyed said that they were frequently buying online last year anyway. You know, that's interesting. 33% of these people said they rarely shopped online last year. And that was what I was alluding to before. There's people that I think grudgingly bought online last year if they had to because they couldn't buy it in store. Or because there was a better deal online or something like that. And so I think this is the audience that's changed this year, and this is where we're seeing a lot of the growth online this year. And yeah, so the next slide. Thanks, Ellie. We're just honing in on just that audience. So just filtering in that question to the same audience of people who rarely shopped online last year. Now we're seeing 68% of those people more comfortable buying online this year. That's the real influx. And I think it's really important with the discussion of what you've been talking about earlier. These people are buying perhaps from brands they haven't bought from before. They're buying products they haven't bought before. The only way they can know and build trust in these products, because they can't go out and talk to people, is they've got to read reviews. They've got to somehow build trust in that and feel comfortable making that purchase before they get to the checkout. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. I think it's a really interesting story at the moment, because as well as the fact that there are people who just have always been online shoppers, they're comfortable, they know how to do it. There's a real influx this year that of people who just haven't been big online shoppers before, and I think you're going to start seeing that in your numbers as well over at Trustpilot, where you're probably going to see, especially over this shopping season, just an unprecedented boom in people just really relying on these sort of reviews really heavily.
100%. Now we are going into our Q&A section. So I'd have a few questions. Also, to our lovely audience, if you do have any other questions for Jenny or for Cyan or for Dave, please pop them into the little questions box. Happy to answer those. I would like to just ask a first question of what are some ways that retailers can capture a new customer and retain them after the peak holiday season? So Cyan, I'll throw that one to you.
That's a great one to start with, isn't it? I think one of the things is to understand what your offering is and why you're doing that. To retain that is to grow with your customer. You want to listen to them. And by that, I don't just mean, do I have feedback? Sorry. I know. Sorry, very off track there. Okay, so yeah, definitely listening to your customers, because even if it's just one person who opens up a door, like the packaging, like Jenny was speaking about before, that is one way to change their experience and get you to stick in their mind. When they're thinking of that need again, or when someone's asking them or they're looking online, they're going to come think of you front of mind to refer someone on to.
Absolutely. And Jenny, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think it's important in retaining them to have just like a really seamless customer experience and just really easy to contact, and providing them with all the information they need so they probably don't even need to contact you. I think double checking, like we try to really improve like our transactional emails, like our order confirmation and shipping confirmation emails, to really build a lot of confidence in being able to contact us very easily if they need any help. Because if, you know, as David sort of showed before, there are a lot of people that have not really shopped online before, and they're not really confident in how that experience works and how to find tracking information or what this information looks like in getting help. And so, you know, if you can have live chat or a very responsive email as much as possible, I think that would really help a lot of customers sort of feel confident to keep coming back to you, and that experience is going to be really seamless each time that they come back, and really taking on board any feedback from new customers and what that experience is like for them, because it can, you know, it can be a bit disjointed at times, which might, you know, cause them to not really want to continue to online shop as well, which would be very disheartening.
Just a bit. So how can retailers ensure that they're actually taking the adequate steps to reduce the strain during the holiday season this year? Cyan, I can throw that over to you, or Jenny, or Dave, whoever wants to answer that one, feel free.
I'll let Jenny go for that one.
Yeah. I mean, probably trying to prepare your customer service team as much as possible. Obviously, there are going to be a lot more people online, and you know, trying to have a very responsive team to get back to things as quickly as possible would really help. Live chat can be really hard, but it does build a lot of confidence when someone's on your website about to order and they know that they could come back and live chat if there was any issues. I think that that's a really helpful one. Or phone. It's not something we personally have, but I know a lot of businesses do use phone as well, and that kind of helps a lot of customers know where to contact. And I know it can be hard, it's not really the timing to change something, but having an omni-channel sort of experience to hold all your customer conversations as well is definitely something that would help speed the process up and not make it too overwhelming this time of year. And probably just trying to be on top of as many updates from carriers or any sort of third-party services that you might use, so that you can provide your customers with very quick feedback rather than kind of avoiding any instances that might be an issue. Trying to know where you can get all your information from as quickly as possible might help as well.
Absolutely. Now, I do have a question about when when retailers are starting to use reviews and things like that, and they might not have any, or they want to maybe increase the review number a little bit. So, and of course, using fake reviews can help you get there. But I would like to know what some of the dangers of actually using fake reviews can do for a retailer and for the customer. So, Cyan, I'd like to throw that one to you.
Yeah, one is consumers are smarter now than they ever have been. They know the signs of trust to look for. You know, the majority of consumers are not going to trust all 5-star reviews. An absolutely perfect reputation detracts trust. We know that consumers trust between 4.2 to 4.7 more than anything. And to game a score like that with fake reviews, it's near impossible to do. You're going to have to be a pretty big mathematician to be able to make up some funny average star rating like that. On top of that, you can also tell by the way the businesses respond to these fake reviews, and people start to pick up on habits and things like that. Like, I know on our platform, you can see how many reviews someone's left before, and that can help people determine whether or not that's real, that's fake. We have the stamps if it's invited or verified, or if there's no stamp there, it means it's organic. But all of these can be verified, and back to what I was saying at the start, consumers aren't stupid. They're going to be able to pick up on a gut feeling whether it's fake or not. Plus, you miss out on all those extra benefits that you do get when you are doing inviting for reviews the right way.
Completely agree. Now we have a question for Jenny from Rad. So Jenny, why did HiSmile pick Trustpilot as their platform of choice? Love to know your experience.
We opted with Trustpilot because it's a verified third-party option. So we wanted our customers to believe the reviews that they're reading. So as Cyan mentioned, there are ways out there for people to fake the reviews that are on their website, and there's obviously that's like quite distrusting to build with your customers. So we wanted to go with a platform where we could invite customers to leave a review on a site that wasn't just HiSmiles, and is a very trusted site amongst many brands. And we just felt that it was going to be a really great opportunity for us to get customers to trust the reviews that were out there. It can be really hard to build that up and get customers to believe in the product and believe what other people have to say. So using a third-party site like Trustpilot really helped us get that over the line. And they're also just very forward thinking in terms of building out that platform, and the analytics and all the sort of behind the scenes stuff that you can learn has also been really helpful as well. And it really has, it basically created my job role at HiSmile. So having like review insights and being able to really understand your customers and what they have to say all in one place has helped us really improve the customer experience as much as possible, fix all the pain points or continue to fix them and notice them a lot sooner than just sort of like seemingly like a one-off person having a negative experience. You can see that it's maybe 20, 30, couple hundred people having that same negative experience, and you can continue to improve that over time. So using a site like Trustpilot has really helped us in that way.
Love to hear it. Absolutely. Now I have one last question. This is going to be for everybody, and it's one of my favorite questions because I just like hearing the answer. Do you think that Australia will continue to see an increase in online sales after the pandemic has passed? So Cyan, start with you.
Oh my God. I do think so. And I think it's probably going to be a natural shift. Like if you compare to some of the online trends in that we saw in America, for example, with Amazon and how that sort of really dribbled to an extent in Australia. Well, I think this has really pushed us, and we've now experienced the convenience of it. It may not continue to the highest numbers that it is now, but I do think from an everyday perspective, like my family and that even, there is going to be things we continuously buy online, especially with all the different online subscriptions that we can get now. That's just convenience. Why wouldn't we continue to do something like that?
Absolutely. And Jenny, same question.
Yeah, I definitely do see this continuing to grow after the sale period, and just continuing to grow every year. I think the more that new brands come on the scene and challenge things that have just always been a certain way in brick and mortar stores, and they're just available online, is it is a lot easier to sort of bridge that market now by creating an online store. And bringing a product to market is a lot easier just through the online space, and getting it direct to consumer in that way, that I could see that continuing to grow as more brands are challenged and things become more available, and the convenience of shipping gets quicker and quicker. And I think those things are just going to help it grow more and more. And obviously more of the younger generations are just going to continue to only shop online, or just the convenience for them is much easier. So that'll just help it grow, I think, over time.
And Dave, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely agree. I think we've seen a few periods this year. So in June this year, for example, we started seeing a little bit of a drop off in e-commerce compared to April and May. And I think that was things starting to return to normal, but things have only climbed from there. And with the exception of Melbourne, restrictions are pretty low in Melbourne. So the only reason for people to still be buying online as much as they are is because they want to now. I think that we've had a pretty extended period of time. I know I've read that it takes 6 months to build a habit, and it's been more than 6 months now. So I think people have started buying online and they're used to it. People that weren't buying online are buying online more. So I don't see any reason why that would change. I think, and I've heard a lot of people say that they expect, when we reach whatever normal looks like now, that things might start to reverse a bit, but I don't really see any reason for that. I don't see any data to back that up. So yeah, I think there's been a pretty significant shift to e-commerce this year, and I think it's probably going to stick. I think it's actually just been a catalyst in Australia in particular to catch us up to other countries. We've sort of historically been trailing behind America and UK in particular on e-commerce, and I think this has just been the catalyst to get a lot of retailers to lift their game. And there's been a lot of positive things come out of it as well. I know bricks and mortar stores in particular have had to really up their game. You know, the click and collect, the park and collect options you get at so many retailers now are really good, and I think that hopefully will stay. I really like it. But also the experience online that I'm seeing, I think, is much better. So yeah, I think in the next 6 months we're going to see a continued e-commerce trend.
I know for a fact I will not stop online shopping, so you know that it's going to be all right as long as I'm still there. Well, guys, I wanted to give all of our speakers a fantastic big thank you for the time they've taken out for this webinar. It's just been fantastic, incredible, and I love insights as well like this. So as always, it's been amazing. If we didn't get time to answer your questions today, feel free to reach out to the speakers from today's webinar, and they'll try and get back to you as fast as they can. And once again, thank you everyone for joining. Thanks to Dave, to Cyan, and to Jenny for their time. I hope everyone stays safe, has a wonderful holiday, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you all at the next webinar.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ali.
Bye.